absolutely smoked. Wow. And nothing feels better. Hey, what's going on? So I got a request. Will I do a video on with persimmons? And it's a great, you know what? I'm glad I was asked to do this. I have buddies that are part of the Persimmon Society. I have buddies that are not in the society also, but they believe that playing blades and persimmons is the purest form of golf. And the reason why is they're not a glutton for punishment, but they want to be able to tap into all their irons. They want to be able to use more creativity and imagination around the golf course. And if you're playing persimmons off the tee box from the fairways and those type of things, you do have to think about a lot of things, you know. And as you already know, playing blades, you have to be very creative and using a lot of imagination. But here's a couple of tips I'm going to talk about on this video about persimmon. I want you to think about, if you're going to play a persimmon club, you know, you may want to go out, just have a couple rounds, 10 rounds a year. You may play persimmons solely, you know, but there are some things you need to make an adjustment for. But before I talk about that, do me a favor. Smash that daggone subscribe button. It makes a huge difference, folks. Come on, don't be afraid. Smash that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That doesn't make a difference, but what does make a difference is your comments. I appreciate your comments. All right, so I got the power belts out today. Beautiful clubs. I mean, the citations, absolutely beautiful clubs. Beautiful clubs. The brass sole plate on the back, weighting, what they're doing now with the weight system. Power belt and clubs like that were ahead of the game 60, 70 years ago. All right, so say we're gonna take the driver. All right, so what do you gotta do different with the driver? Remember, persimmons are probably about 43 inches with the driver, 42 with the 3 wood, and maybe 41 and a half with your 5 and 4 woods, right? All right, so the first thing you're gonna have to do is throw out the tee it high and let it fly. Tee that ball down. Rule number 1. Rule number 2, stand a little bit closer. Stand a little bit closer. Rule number 3, and it's the funnest one, let it rip. Let that persimmon hit those screws. Let it rip. There's a couple things to think about. With the modern golf ball, the ball does not spin as much as it does with a balata ball. So you're going to get more distance with a modern golf ball in an old school persimmon wood because of what they call the gear effect. The bulge in the roll of the face is going to have that ball come back around to the fairway. So the first thing you're going to notice, you're hitting a lot of fairways with them persimmons. You really are. But remember the keys. Tee that ball down. Stand a little bit closer and let it rip. Do not overthink it. Look at that ball. Dead center of the fairway. Smoked it. Little baby draw. Pew. All right. That's the driver. All right, then what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab the 3 wood. Okay? Key with the 3 wood is we're not teeing the ball up, right? Hitting off the deck, you can tee it up on the tee box, right? But I want you to stand a little bit closer. And I want you to start thinking about anytime you play a persimmon, check your bottom V, check your top V, your arm line, loosen up the wrist, and let it rip. Technology is on your side. You're playing a modern ball with a club that is built with bulge and roll to have the spin factor, gear effect, spin axis come back to the fairway. All right? Remember, stand a little bit closer. Smoked. And then we grab the club that you'll see a lot of people still have in their bags. The 5 wood. They're beautiful. Look at that club. Citation, power built, beautiful club, face. Think about if you play a 7-wood. The key is going to be to stand a little bit closer. Modern clubs have been lengthened for distance. Stand a little bit closer. Bottom V, top V, loosen up your wrist and let it rip. Absolutely smoked. Wow. And nothing feels better than a persimmon off the screws. So I hope this video helps you out. You may go out and say, hey, I'm not going to play no persimmons. Or you may say, hey, you know what? Let me go brush off those Tony Penas. Let me brush off that Louisville. Let me brush off those Ben Hogans, those McGregors, and let me go play a few rounds with them, you know? Have realistic expectations. You're going to hit more fairways. I can guarantee you that. What you may get discouraged on is the distance may not be the same, but that's going to be weighed on the scale of I've hit more fairways today than I've ever hit in my life. Weigh it out and see which one you want to enjoy. Take care, keep grinding. Remember, the journey does require work. Let me say this. It's not the Indian, it's the arrow. Come on now, folks. You know better than that. It's not the arrow, it's the Indian. So long as you put in a good, efficient motion on the ball, you can really play anything you want to play. You just got to say, what am I playing golf for? Am I playing golf to have a bunch of different shots? I want to use all the clubs in my bag. Am I playing golf and I'm playing with my buddies, very, very competitive, and they're playing with the modern day equipment? It's going to be hard to stick up with them because they're going to be 20, 30 yards ahead of you if they're really, really good players. And they're going to have a 9-iron wedge in their hand, and you're going to have a 7-iron, 8-iron in your hand. And two good players of equal talent, the one with the shortest club in his hand is going to win 90% of the time. So know what you're playing, know why you're playing, but most of all, just go play. Take care. Stand a little bit closer.